Lake from Solera Solutions, Paul Becker from Chemical, Trina Root from Original Ivy Field Business, and Jordan Chikowski from Pilot Club. Competitors will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will have a total of 5 minutes for questions. I will show time cards at various intervals to indicate the remaining time. I will stop any speaker who exceeds the maximum time limit. No questions, comments, cell phones, or picture taking will be permitted from the audience. The audience will only be permitted to applaud following the question and answer period. The audience is banned from any material that bears the name or symbol of the university. We ask that the audience takes the room immediately following the question and answer period. Competitors, you may take when you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Wilkinson. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come to our presentation on Jetstream. I'd like to introduce my team, Olivia, Assad, and my name is Melissa. I have a slight cold, but I will get over it. So today we are extremely excited to present to you our recommendation for Jetstream and how we can help you save those who save lives. Seems to be a slight.
We might have to turn the power on.
Don't believe the clicker's awake yet. All right. Would it be okay if I borrow one of your slides? Thank you. So,
Do you just want to try using the keyboard?
keyboard?
At the back there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, last month, a tragedy occurred. A young man lost his life due to ineffective training and safety procedures. This could have been extremely avoidable if only the right training and safety procedures were put in place. Today, we believe that our recommendation will not only help you reach your business objective, but help you go beyond profits to make sure that your employees go home to their families, much like you go home to yours at the end of the day. So a quick executive summary, just going over your current position, we did identify a couple key issues with your organization. First off, a lack of recruitment capabilities caused by a lack of a human resource department. So we believe that this has caused an inability to retain a qualified workforce. But our recommendation today will be a talent management strategy that will focus on attracting through an external headhunter for your new 2 pilot positions, as well as focusing on current retention of your current employees. And we believe that our recommendation will strongly impact your qualified workforce and help you invest in those employees. And this will help you with the ability to meet demand and remain competitive within your competitive market. So looking at the bottom here, we want to focus on the strategy today for our presentation, which is founded on the principles of hard work, dedication, and the love for the mountains. We believe that your company strategy is one of your key strengths, and we want to make sure that throughout our presentation, we are constantly reminded to your dedication of hard work and dedication, not just to your customers, but to your employees. So just to go over a quick agenda, I will go over the internal analysis as well as external analysis. Assad will go over our key issues, key objectives, and our alternatives. Olivia will cover our recommendation and implementation, and I will follow up with risks mitigation, metrics of success, and closing with our beyond profits. So just a quick situational analysis on your industry. We discovered that you have a strong organizational culture that focuses on safety and work-life balance, and we believe that this is something that you need to capitalize on because it is a key strength. As well, you have a comprehensive training program where you take in those new graduates and you give them more so they can be safe and they can be safe throughout their routines and help out the customers as well. However, we did identify a couple key weaknesses. So you have a reactive employment strategy. It wasn't until Mr. Gonzalez informed you that you were using 2 pilots that you decided to then look for 2 new pilots, well, 2 to 4, and we believe our recommendation will help you do that today. However, there's also a low experience strategy with your employees. So the ones that you are hiring on only have that 3,000 hours. They don't have anything more than that. They don't have that Mountain View time, and that's requiring you to cost more money to train them. So over external analysis, we did identify a couple opportunities within your industry. First off, Generation Y is the first generation coming to the industry, and they prefer benefits over pay. you have a very comprehensive benefits program, and we believe this is the key strength that you can use to your advantage when addressing this opportunity. As well, second, Generation Y statistics show prefer workplace environment over higher pay. So we believe this is another opportunity that you can capitalize on. However, we did identify some key threats. Employees prefer structure in the workplace. So with your organization, you do have a lack of structure with your on-call. So we believe that we need to address this going forward. And second, there's heightened competition for industry professionals within your industry. A lot of these pilots are in a smaller pool, so we believe this is a threat that we will mitigate today. I'd like to pass it up to Saad to go over our key issues.
Thank you, Melissa. So before we really get into how our implementation can help your organization as a whole, you really have to understand what are the key issues that your company is facing currently. And overall, so we identified a primary issue is that lack of human resource capability. This is creating a major challenge, and one of the greatest challenge for your business to attract and retain a qualified workforce. However, we do feel that with your organization, it is growing. You have 75 employees right now. As such, we don't see it necessarily that the means of having a full-time HR department. However, we want to focus on the immediate action. We want to hire that headstream to really focus on attracting the most qualified workers for your organization to really be able to implement that safety procedures throughout your organization as a whole. And as such, it's creating a few secondary issues that are critical for you guys, for your organization to understand as well. Firstly, there are that low experience standards. To be realistic, 3,000 is not really cutting it. We need to focus on increasing those hours in terms of the mountain experience in order to really establish a sense of safety with your customers as well. Secondly, retaining qualified employees. We do feel that this is a secondary issue that is really facing your organization. The guys who are leaving are joining larger operations. We feel through our analysis, a key identification of this is that work-life balance. Right now, there is that lack of work-life balance currently at your organization, and this is causing that retention to be at its all-time low. And thirdly, there is that misalignment between the number of contracts and the workforce. This is causing unsatisfied customers and not being able to meet up with the contracts that you have promised. And overall, the possibility of not having a workforce to fulfill those contracts was there. This is creating a substantial cost for your organization. And as such, through our implementation, we will be able to identify all these issues and see how you can remain a sustainable organization. So overall, the few key objectives for your organization is, first of all, immediately to attract that qualified 2 to 4 pilots within the 4-month time restriction. Secondly, effectively retain those current employees. Focus on that work-life balance. Focus on those safety procedures. Create an organization that really enhances that work-life balance and that safety, which is then implemented and passed on to your customers. And thirdly, fostering an organization overall on focus on safety. This will allow you to have that competitive advantage by investing in your employees, customers, and long-term sustainability as a whole. So we have identified 3 alternatives for you on how can JetStream conduct sustainable business operations while really being able to invest in its employees. First of all, restructuring its compensation structure. We do feel that currently the employees are being compensated fairly compared to its competitors, and we therefore feel that this is not an immediate solution to the current problems that are facing the organization. Thirdly, revamping to a matrix org structure. We do feel that this will ultimately create some benefits in the long term, however, will not solve your current problem at hand. So overall, we recommend to employ a talent management strategy that really focuses on 2 key components. The immediate component being the attraction of those qualified safety pilots, and a secondary component being focusing on retention. How do we retain these employees? How do we remain a strong organization and continue sustainable operations? So under this attraction and retention category, we also have 2 existing alternatives for you. First of all, recruiting internally. We do feel that right now you guys have a lot on your plate, you guys are on the flights as well, and therefore this might cause burnout on your end. So we do not recommend doing that internal recruitment. However, focusing on that external recruitment, focusing on hiring a headhunter who knows the industry, who has knowledge, who has skills, who can be able to identify who are those qualified employees and how can we get them to our organization. So overall, we have three different markets that we decided to choose for you. The first one being the European market. We did see some benefits of that. However, this will give access to a diverse workforce. However, the challenges here completely outweigh the benefits. It is not feasible to identify qualified workers within the European market in the 4-month time frame that we're looking at. As such, we decided to rule out that alternative. Secondly, focusing on those pilot graduates. We do feel that there's a large talent pool here. However, the challenge is that lack of experience. We really want to emphasize that safety. And who is best to have those safety standards more like than those in the industry professionals? Those who already have the experience, already have the required hours, already know the knowledge and skills in order to succeed in the position. So we therefore feel that, there are some negatives. It is highly competitive. However, we feel that the benefits outweigh the pro and that they have that knowledge. They know how to work in the industry, how to satisfy its customers, and overall, how to do those safety standards. So we recommend to you the external recruitment strategy focusing on those industry professionals. So overall, our recommendation for you, tying back to your strategy, founded on the principles of hard work, dedication, and love for the mountains, focusing on those safety procedures, making sure that your employees can go home at the end of a day's work, making sure that your customers are satisfied. This will create a competitive advantage for you by focusing on this talent management strategy, focusing on 2 key components: attraction, the headhunter recruitment, and strengthening your experience standards, and secondly, retention, focusing on work-life balance and focusing how to motivate these employees to stay with your organization. I'll now pass it on to Olivia to talk about the implementation plan.
Thank you, Assad. So first off, here's the timeline for our implementation plan. You do have a 4-month time constraint. We do realize that this is very tight, so we will take the plan stage to mid-August, about 2 weeks for that. The execution will be about 3.5 months, and then the evaluate will continue on into the new year in 2014. Also, for the first stage of the planning, this will take 2 weeks, and we do recommend that you have an executive meeting. You do have 2 other partners, one that is engaged with the maintenance side, as well as another that is not as engaged. However, we do feel that their buy-in is very important. So you want to discuss the talent management changes that are about to partake in your organization, as well as you need to hire that contract headhunter. We do estimate about $60,000 for the 4 months, as it is a very tight time that this headhunter has to find an experienced worker for your company. As well then, the second step is the change experience standards. So right now, as outlined by Gonzalez, he does feel that the 3,000 experience hours is not enough, and you are not hitting that standard, so you are hiring people with less hours. This is very critical, as safety is one of your key objectives for your organization. So we feel that modifying these standards, both with Gonzalez and yourself, will help strengthen that. This will be outlined on the next slide as well. And then step 3 would be to communicate further changes to your organization. So this will be the retaining aspects. This will be the motivating aspects. We recommend a Q&A package, as you yourself, you have 75 employees in 3 different locations. You will have a lot of questions. So we do recommend to communicate through email, as the cost for the headhunter is a bit higher. So we do recommend an email will be more feasible for your company than going to each of the 3 locations. So this would be the changes to the experience standards. So currently, as Gonzalez emailed you about, the 3,000 hours for helicopter time wasn't being hit, and he also thought it was a low hour range. So we do recommend 4,000 hours, and we do recommend being pretty strict on hitting this, because it's very important to have these pilots experience. They are flying through mountains. They are doing, tourism is on the rise for your company. So it's very important that they have the experience to make sure your customers are making it safe to their destination and safe back home, as well as your employees are making home every day. As well as mountain training is not required for your organization at the moment. We do recommend that this is in the new standards, as they are flying through the Rocky Mountains. They are going from Golden. You have kicking horse up there. you have Panorama Mountain Village, many places to heli ski, and tourism, as I said, is on the rise. It's very important that they understand that mountain range. As well as, currently right now they're only instructing passengers on safety, which is very important. However, we feel they should take the next step and have a positive attitude towards safety. So they're going above and beyond that safety threshold and taking it one step further to make sure you are a competitor for safety. So people come to your company because they feel safe. That's very important. For the execute stage of the implementation, which will be 3.5 months, first you integrate that headhunter into your organization. It's very important that they spend a week with your organization to understand your culture, understand your values, so they understand who they're hiring and how they will fit in. And then that headhunter will begin the recruitment. So they will take 3 months to find these industry professionals with the qualified experience. As well as step 3, these hired employees will then take onboarding training to learn the operations and culture of the organization. They don't need full-out training as they are experienced, however, just day-to-day operations training. And then the evaluate stage, which is ongoing. Conducting performance reviews is very critical, as one of our motivational keys for the retention is having schedules tied into our request system. So the schedule for contract is sent out, and then they request, and then performance is evaluated on that request. So higher performers get the top requests. And then another motivational is the recognition. So outstanding service and outstanding safety is very important, that they are recognized for that and they have that motivating factor to go above and beyond. As well as satisfaction surveys on both the employees and customer side, as it's important to understand how your employees are feeling, how your customers are feeling, so you can improve day to day. I'll now pass it on to Melissa for risks and mitigation.
Thank you, Olivia. So with our recommendation, we do identify 3 key risks. So the first one being an inability to find qualified pilots within the industry professionals. We do believe that hiring a headhunter is a strong recommendation, so the probability of this will be low. However, if it does happen, the impact will be high, and our trigger point here to act is less than 2 pilots hired by October 2013. So that leaves you another month and a half to continue your plan to recruit 2 more pilots. So our mitigation for this is to consider tapping into the European market. Our second risk here is hiring employees that lack training. So perhaps the headhunter has not understood the qualifications of the role within your organization. However, we do believe the probability is, again, low. The impact could be high if this is not communicated properly. The trigger point here being failure during the onboarding stage, which is the part of our execution plan. So our mitigation here is to consult the National Occupational Classification to keep employee descriptions up to date so that we can ensure that we have the right employee descriptions and the right employee duties as said in this charter. Third, a lack of current employee retention. So we see this as a probability of medium, an impact of medium, and 2 employees per year. So we see this as reevaluated in retention strategy. Currently, right now, we see that only work-life balance with the flexible on-call shifts are the only reason why your employees are leaving the organization. They do like the benefits, they won't get paid anymore. So we do believe that this is just a medium probability. However, if this does happen, we will reevaluate the retention strategy. So we did identify key metrics of success to our recommendation plan. So first, we want to bring down the injuries per year to 0. We believe that this is quite achievable. Second, turnover rate, less than current percent of 2.67%, which you saw with those 2 pilots leaving. Third, employee satisfaction surveys. Are your employees satisfied? Do their employees care about their safety? And fourth, failure during onboarding, we want 0. So with our recommendation, we do recognize our results. So our headhunter targeting industry professionals will attract those qualified 2 to 4 employees within those 4-month period. Second, linking fixed schedule to performance will effectively retain your current employees and give them that work-life balance they desire. Third, recognition based on outstanding safety. So this fosters your organizational culture focused on safety, and we believe this is super important for your organization to remain competitive in the market. So just to go over our recommendation, your strategy focuses on hard work and dedication and love. So we want to make sure that our talent management strategy focuses on your core competencies, but also improves your attraction and retention parts of your talent strategy. So Safety is a core business function and a personal value held by all of your people. This is one of your core business values, and we believe this is extremely important in today's setting where family life is so important, investing in employees is so important, and that is what sets you apart from your competitors. We need to go beyond profits today and really consider that safety and quality are your sources of your competitive advantage. So we urge you to use that and use our recommendation in order to save lives and save the people who are saving those lives. Thank you. We now move the floor to any questions you may have.
This concludes the presentation. The question now is Superior Law.
I had a question. You talked about increasing the number of experience hours from 3,000, I think it was, to 4,000. But you also talked about this being a highly competitive industry, you know, to try, and there's not a lot of pilots that would have that experience. You said the risk of being able to hire those people is low. But I didn't see anything. If I was a pilot, it had 5,000 hours, why I would come to the company versus stay where I am and go somewhere else.
So we identify the risk to be low because we really feel that our strategy will touch on that issue of not being able to have that target market that we're looking for. However, we do believe that emphasizing the work-life balance, the diversity of work that the employees will get by joining JetStream will really attract those employees compared to our competitors within the industry.
Yes, thank you for the wisdom about the training hours and the shift to 4,000 hours. Would you recommend any sort of a transition plan with the folks who just hired about maybe 2,500 hours? Would you do anything special with them, or would they just accumulate? Is this a strategy going forward? Would you hire forward?
So it is for all employees across your entire organization. So you do have a training program in place. So if you do hire someone that does not have the 4,000 hours, they are eligible to have training to up those hours with a pilot that is more experienced. As well, for new hires that have been experienced in the industry already, the 4,000 hours we believe is very achievable, as we do want someone with many years of experience.
So you talked about your request for scheduling certain times you're not collecting pilots, and you said that you were going to allow pilots with higher performers to have priority. What are the metrics that you use specifically to measure who has higher performance?
I can take that question. So with our linking performance to scheduling, we believe that having outstanding safety and outstanding service will be the key metrics in order to have that performance linked to the scheduling. So you will have first priority to get the fixed schedules, and then those who perform less will have the on-call schedules.
Please ask also, sorry, how do we measure the service aspect?
So with our customer surveys, as well as a performance evaluation by Gonzalez, who is your chief pilot with 10,000 hours of experience, we do believe that his core competencies are quite high to evaluate your employees.
I think I clearly understand the her strategy. The question, how do you measure the performance, especially to the retention piece. Is there any concern that we have a great group of pilots who really that we have maybe some really top performers, but we have some medium performers who now are getting the schedules that we retain currently. But how are we going to retain those folks? That's the you have that's strategy. They're not getting the schedules.
Yes, there is risk to that. However, your organization is in a competitive industry, and you do want the best at what they do. So the people that do excel, you want to reward them, and you want them to continue to work for you. So the middle employees that are still getting just the regular schedules, they do have room for improvement. You do offer training; they can be retrained if they do wish. However, they do have room to step up if they do wish to come up to that excellent standard that we are coming with.
It would appear that we've become a company that's a training ground for people to then want bigger. Do we have any sense of what is it they're looking for again in those bigger plans? Would that be something that would help us?
All of our analysis, the biggest thing that we found was that flexibility. The flexibility that they got with the larger firms that can run their own business, or any side operation they have, then that was the biggest thing that we got. So we're really focusing on that work-life balance, having the flexible schedule